to the back of my mind.
Okay. I always sing along just to see if it comes through. Welcome to issue 182 of ComicCast. We are here. We are boogieless.
So don't say it like that.
Don't say boogieless. All right. We're brought to you by
Boogie Free.
Dwayne's Boogie Free. No tropical oils. Brought to you by Dwayne's World Comics and Games, 457 East Sullivan Street in Kingsport, Tennessee. They carry books, graphic novels, toys, statues, gaming merchandise, including miniature games, board games, RPGs, everything. All of it. Everything. All of it.
It's like Walmart of comics.
Just go shop. Don't hit a grocery store. You get your groceries at Dwayne's World Comics and Games in Kingsport, Tennessee. I'm Adam Wade Adams.
I'm Jason.
This is Gaumer.
I'm Drew.
I'm Dave.
Hey, and we have Dave here.
and right above us is Dave Chisholm. We are at ComicCast Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and wherever you get social with Boogie and your media. Also, you're listening to this on YouTube. Hit the like button, or if you don't like us, hit the dislike button twice. Hit it twice because that's the only way it registers. You got to hit it twice, and share out the link to your buddies. Get them in the chat, because we are talking to the creator of Canopus, Dave Chisholm. Thank you for taking time with us today to talk about this book.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm really excited to be here. Or I mean, it's not. I'm just at home, but I'm so excited to
digitally here. It's like the Matrix. You're not really there.
Yeah, I'm excited to be at home too.
Yeah.
Hey, whether you're here, whether you're physically with us or over the interwebs, you're still spending your time. So thank you very much.
Yeah, good job, Adam, with the intro.
No, it
for
wasn't.
Boogie's
Stop.
intro.
You don't have to kiss his ass. It was terrible.
I mean, it was
terrible.
Before we get started, the super chats demand that you need to chug root beer. So before we get started, you have to obey the watchers.
It's like a street performer. You got to throw money at you to eat glass or something.
Oh, it burns. It burns.
There you go. Are you happy, Chad?
It's got to be the aged vanilla that burns.
Yeah,
Chad's happy.
Sure.
All right. Sorry about that. Now we can
There we go. Why does Chad get to ask the question? I think Drew should ask the question.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dave,
we
we have a thing going here at ComicCast, and it's our first question. So we're going to have Mr. Drew Manchu. You know what the question is, right, Drew?
Oh yeah, I know what the question is.
All right.
There's no wrong answers, but there is a wrong answer.
All the esteemed guests on ComicCast are asked this question, and as a
terrible
panel
ones too.
member, I'm honored to get to ask this question, Mr. Dave Chisholm.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. And first thing we'd like to know is, what is your favorite Rocky movie?
Oh, probably just Rocky.
Nice.
That's the going answer for 2020, and I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
It just gets you right.
You've changed your answer though repeatedly, Adam.
Me?
Yeah.
No,
I've
just
to be honest, I haven't seen all of them, so
it's okay.
Oh,
that's the right answer.
Yeah, right.
I haven't seen all of them. Is the right answer. There are more Rocky movies than there are Star Wars films at this point.
I think usually most people they've seen like the first 4, maybe 5.
Does anybody answer Rocky and Bullwinkle?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Good answer. I like it.
I mean, that wouldn't be my favorite anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all we need is we need Ivan Drago saying it's always moose and squirrel. Moose and squirrel must break you.
Well, that's a great answer. Rocky
Yeah.
1. I love it
True.
too.
Excellent.
So good. So good.
So this book, Canopus, you have coming out. Tell us a little bit about it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Hey.
here it is. I got my comp copies so I can like show it off and be like,
Nice.
look, it's here.
That's
It
awesome.
really exists. I'm so excited.
You did the art in this too, right?
I
The
did
coloring?
everything on it. Yeah,
Wow.
I drew it, wrote it, drew it, colored it, lettered it, and all that jazz. I did have my friend Dustin did the flats for the colors. So just to kind of like, in full disclosure, that he helped me out with like streamlining that process. But yeah, this is a 4-issue sci-fi series about this woman who wakes up on an alien planet with no memories, and she has to figure out a way off the planet, and things start to get strange when her memories start to return on the as monsters on the surface of the planet.
Weird. I got to read issue 1, and it's great. It's awesome. It pulls you right into it, but it's weird. Where's this come from? Where's the story?
Oh gosh,
I know, right? Because it's like you can be weird, but that weirdness has to come from somewhere, and it's the best kind of weird.
I
like where it's
appreciate that
influenced
very
from?
much, man.
Yeah.
I think I've always been attracted to like the capital W like weird in like media, and one kind of like for me like touchstone of the weird is when you take something that's mundane and you charge it with some sort of strangeness. So like finding a bunch of kids toys in a hole in the ground on a planet that's really like 300 light years away. So
and you see your favorite one in there.
yeah and I've just been it just has always drawn me in, so it always shows up in my work, or like an instrumental, like these instruments that are like caught like some sort of mythological like mythologically charged like instrument that's like, well, it's just a trumpet, but also when you play it like
the apocalypse comes.
Something bad might happen, someone might get electrocuted somehow while you're like playing, or something crazy happens, and or even just like in instrumental when like those characters show up, like Mozart shows up in the book, and it's like, why is Mozart here? And it's like, I know why, but you don't have to know.
Dude, I read all 4 issues. I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I thought it was super emotional. The flashbacks were incredible. I think that the socks part got me the most. That hit me the strongest. I was like, wow, man. I don't know, man. This whole entire book is just way better than I thought it would be, man. It's good.
And even
it's incredible. The art, I love the strangeness too, man. It's just another.
And even the design choices. You mentioned the flashbacks. The flashbacks are very specifically designed using comic book design, and it's just wonderful. And it really sets everything apart.
You guys are so nice. It's better than if you were like, yeah, this book is just hot garbage.
Well, yeah. Well, if it was, we would definitely tell you.
Yeah, we'd tell you.
I love those flashback panels as well, and I like to call them like a game of life layouts, where it kind of like a board game meanders its way through the page. It does that every time there's a flashback, and it's a really, really great design. I'm going to fall right in the middle here. I read 3 out of the 4 issues because Boogie said don't spoil it, so I figured, I better not spoil it for myself. And I think probably the best compliment I can give you is after those 3 issues is the more that I figure out what's going on, the less I know what's going on.
Exactly.
The weirder it feels. So it's like it like ramps up the weirdness as it reveals things to you. So you're like, I kind of know where this is going, but then it takes just a little bit of a swerve from what you expect, and it keeps your imagination rolling.
And that's like, I can't tell you how much that means to me. The more you know what's happening, the less you know what's happening.
Right. Yeah. I suggested this to a friend in a Facebook chat earlier, and I just said, you know what? It's like it's Twilight Zone, man. It's Twilight Zone with some really great panel layouts, some fantastic art and great imagery. and it messes with your head while it pulls at your emotions. It's everything you kind of want out of the story.
Cool.
If you like funny robots doing funny, quirky little things, it's got that. More than anything, I think it just really messes with your head while it tries to figure out where this main character's emotions lie, and it does that through some really subtle things and some things that really smack you right in the face. And I really enjoyed it. I think
thanks.
Really I was looking at your website and I'm really psyched to check out Instrumental. Just
dude, it's good. Yeah, I want to read that too.
That's as well.
That's
Thanks,
DaveChisholmmusic.com.
Oh, that's it. That's the one.
It's on Spotify as well.
Should we put it in the chat, Dave?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. Did that work? Is that just our chat? That's
our chat. It's our chat. Yeah, you gotta use that.
Oh, that's a private chat.
That's our private chat.
I just failed. It's okay.
I'll put it in the chat though.
Okay, doesn't matter. That's fine.
It's so great though.
Oh, thanks, man.
Looks so
like
good.
Okay, so like thinking about like how this book came to be, right? Like I had this big sci-fi idea. Like I wish I had a better term for it. It's just like the big high concept, and it's one of those stories where you kind of get the full high concept at the end of the book and not at the start of the book. And so I've unfortunately I'm not like I can't really talk about it, but
yeah,
I had that idea on a flight to Boston from Rochester where I live, and then I kind of kind of had this, you know, I don't know like if this is normal for the way anybody else works, but like I have this Rolodex of like personal like issues that I'm working through, like so for this book, it's like really rooted in my own like inability to let go of resentment in my life and like holding grudges and being like kind of angry about things that happened for like a decade ago.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
And then also like not really understanding the benefit of or like the justice in forgiveness. Like I really feel like sometimes like forgiveness without contrition feels like an injustice in itself, right? And so I kind of like meditated on that or sat on it and had like endless conversations with my wife Elise and some other friends about this, and kind of the story grew out of that, with this main character Helen, who kind of like so many of us do, like the tentpole moments in her life, the moments that kind of like gave her life like a path and meaning, tend to also be the worst moments of her life. And sorry to bring the mood down, guys.
No. Interesting stuff. I'm the same way.
I mean, it says it in the in your I guess it would be your description that this story comes from a personal place.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Even though I'm not Helen, you know, it's definitely rooted in some autobiographical stuff from my past. And
now this is for everybody listening or in the chat. This is a spoiler free. We're not going to be spoiling anything because we want you to experience this story from start to finish on your own.
That's a great roller coaster.
The one thing I did notice was, and if I'm hinting towards anything, Dave, say shut up, Adam. But I just thought Helen's eyes was that. Because they're very interesting. I don't know if that was a conscious thing or if it's nothing.
It's definitely on purpose. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Shut up, Adam. Shut
up, Adam.
Like there's definitely something there, and you get like a A+.
Nice.
Oh, thank you.
Is this gonna be on Comixology, available online?
Yeah, actually, I think Scout I think it's a pretty recent development. Because when I first signed the contract, I asked them that, and they kind of like I was a little confused with the answer because they were like, oh, eventually it'll be on Comixology, but there's another digital platform or something like that. And today, in a reply on Twitter, they said like, oh, all of our books are going to be on Comixology.
That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, because I want to not to divert, but I wanted to finish reading Jazz Player I read the first 2 issues of that on Scout, and I thought it was really interesting and didn't get enough love or in shops availability. So I'm really glad to see Scout, I guess, put their stuff on digital.
Yeah, I'm good. You know what? I don't want to like be the bearer. I think that's what they said, that all their books were going to be on there, but I don't want to be like speaking on their behalf because I'm not like a representative of.
Sure.
They're publishing my book.
You just
make the book, man.
Or or you're just a. How did you put it? I forget how you put it.
Yeah, there's a word. I can't remember the word though. Not exculpatory. I don't know.
Exculpatory. We'll go with it. I like it.
What is it like working with Scout Comics? Is that
what? No,
publisher.
I like working with them. Wait, what did you say?
Well, no, I just want to know what it's like working with Scout Comics. Tell us about the publisher.
Gosh, well, they're kind of like based in Florida, and I'm here, and it's been just real kind of. I would say, it's been really good. I mean, I'm super stoked that they're putting it out, and but in terms of like. They haven't been super hands-on with it, which is nice for me, I guess. I mean, it's always tricky when a publisher is like, "Oh, we want to put it out, but there's a few things we want to change about your book." And that at least for this one, they were pretty hands-off about it, and have been really supportive of it. And I mean, I would say. Like friendly and utilitarian has been the process has been just like, this is the date they need. They're really clear about the dates that they need content from me and the dates that they need, like, for like the previews listing and for when they need files and all that stuff for printing and everything. So it's been very smooth going. So
they do a lot of they publish a lot of interesting stuff. Like one of their books is Stabbity Bunny.
Yeah,
I mean, just a very interesting book. So, I think they're one of the. I guess you would consider them relatively new.
I think they're a pretty young publisher compared to some other ones,
But they continue to grow and put out great stuff.
Definitely.
Are you able to talk about what book you're putting out with SourcePoint?
Yeah, Jeremy, what's up, dude? How you doing, man? I've got a book that I drew. It's written by my friend Milton Lawson, and it's a 3-issue series called Heller Detective. Wait, what's it called? Now I can't remember the full title. It's like Heller is the name of the main character. And it's called like Detective Heller. No, something I'm like losing my mind. Let me look up on Milton's website. Oops, I just Googled Milton.
I'm excited, man, just to see more of your art.
Yeah.
Oh, and in this particular book, I drew. Where the heck is it, Milton? You got to have this on your site. Detective. I'm like totally drawing such a brain fart on this one. Anyway, regardless, it comes out in September. I drew this book for Milton before I did Canopus, right? Canopus, however you say it.
How do you say it? I don't know.
How do you say it? Yeah,
I say it like
saying it wrong.
I say it like Canopus, but when you look on look on pronunciations, there's like a lot of different ways. So I think all of the pronunciations are good. It's it's an old word. And,
okay. I'm sorry. I think I found it. Is it Thompson Heller Detective Interstellar?
Yeah, that's it. And it's a 3-issue miniseries where each issue is a standalone story, but all of them like tie together in the end.
Nice. Oh, nice.
So it's kind of like that perfect book for like comic shops, for like direct market comics.
Yeah.
Because each issue has like a satisfying conclusion. And I drew this one before I did Canopus. And really, like, this book, it was Milton's scripts are like really challenging and really difficult and and it was like a really fun script, but it really pushed me. And I would say if I hadn't have done that book with him, it would have been really hard to like encourage to have the courage to do Canopus, so this book really kind of like prepped me for this Canopus, which is coming out
I was going to say, like, how challenging could it be, more than drawing how to travel through hyperspace,
Right.
Like that was just a trip. That was so good. God, I love your art, man. I'm excited to see this Source Point book, man. That's cool. Are you taking on more commissions? Are you still doing that or now?
We chatted a little bit before, and right now I'm like 88 pages into this big book.
So
that's right. That's taking all your time.
Talk about.
Yeah.
And it's a real fast deadline for this book, and so like I'm crushing out. Like I'm trying to do like I also like work. I'm not gonna try to pretend that like this is my the only thing I do, and so like I'm in addition to like my work and my job, I'm trying to do like between like 4 and 6 pages a week on this book.
Wow.
And so trying to burn the candle at both ends. But yeah, I started it in October, and I'm 88 pages into it now, and I'm writing it and drawing it.
Yeah.
So, but that's all I can say. I can't talk about it.
Excited for it.
You can't say a publisher or anything on that?
I really don't think I can. Okay. Unfortunately, but it's really exciting. It's a dream project. That's all I can say.
Awesome.
Is that, like,
oh man.
Like, and I really feel like honored to be given the keys to this particular car. So that's it. I don't want to.
I'm not even going to ask anything because that's a big. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what it's going to be, but it's going to be announced next week.
Series.
No, it's going to be announced in March. That's what I was told.
Okay.
First, I was told January, and then I was told February, and now I'm being told March. Sure. And again, if it was up to me, I would just tell everybody because I'm a big oversharer, you know. But it's not up to me, so. Oh well.
Well, is there? This is. I think this is one of Boogie's favorite questions. Is there anything you're reading now, or anything you absolutely love in regards to comics or?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so much. I'm sitting in my office at my house, and I have like all these bookshelves. I don't want to turn my computer to show you, but so I'm looking at my shelves. It's really easy for me to see stuff but right now I'm actually reading like 4 books. I always read books. So I'm reading this big, huge book about the artist Michelangelo because I'm really fascinated by his work. And I was lucky enough to go to Italy for my honeymoon. And we went, and I'm looking at the Sistine Chapel and was like looking at this old comic book.
Right.
And I'm not like a religious person. Not that I even need to say that, but looking up at there was like a religious experience as a creator because especially when I realized that he finished the back half of it and then like took his scaffold down and looked up and was like, I can do a better job. And then did the front half with a different, completely revised the way he was working on the front half to make it better. Like on this like 10-year long project, I just was kind of blown away by that commitment to making something really great, and fearlessness. And so anyway, I found this ginormous book about Michelangelo. I'm reading that right now. And then I'm reading, I don't know. I just love like weird too. So I'm like reading this really like completely crazy, like insane, like alternate history of like life on Earth. That's like from this esoteric, mystical perspective.
Nice.
And it's completely insane, and I'm really enjoying that. As far as comics goes, right now I'm really enjoying that book Once in Future. I really loved Little Bird. What's the book? What are those books? I really loved like House of X. I love that. Like,
oh yeah,
that's so good.
Those books were amazing, and I love the way that they mess with comics form. What else am I reading? I just love form. I'm a real formalist, I think. Like, so I don't really care about characters as much as I care about creators, in particular creators who toy around with the comics form and trying to like push and pull it to like find new ways to tell stories. So yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. Is there anything I should be reading? You guys can ask me if I'm reading.
I think I'll start that list with. I think you would enjoy Kill Lock.
What's it called?
Kill Lock.
Kill Lock.
I'll write that down.
I think the way that you go out information in your own story, that something along the lines of Gideon Falls would be right up your alley.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, Gideon Falls is very Twin Peaks-esque.
Yeah, that has a lot of that weird stuff that I love too.
Yeah, I think you'll dig that.
You know, I feel really bummed that I haven't read Gideon Falls yet. I just missed the boat when it first came out, and you guys know how it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It can be kind of hard to get on the merry-go-round, because then you start buying it in trades, and then you want to get the single issues, but then but then your collection is like mixed match.
Yeah.
And like that like organization mind gets all like angry.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, if my wife watches this and hears me refer to my organization mind, she'll probably like have a good belly laugh, because I'm a pretty disorganized. I'm organized when I really want to be, and then the rest of the time I'm like basically
it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Total mess.
Right?
Yeah.
Total mess.
And
I want to recommend.
My mess is very organized.
I get that.
Yeah.
That's
true. Right. Yeah, I'd recommend Black Monday Murders. It's an older Hickman.
Oh yeah.
Too.
He kind of did the same thing with the symbols in X-Men. You know, the language. But it was prior to that, and I thought it's really fascinating. I think you might dig that.
Cool.
Chad Johnson threw out Banjax and
there you go.
Mountainhead, but yeah, Ryland Grant's Banjax. I love that story.
Yeah,
I'll write that down.
Oh, nice, Chad Johnson. Yeah,
I just read The Water Dancer by Ta-Nehisi Coates. That was really good. I don't know. I try to read like a lot. I read like a lot of like books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know, like I'm always like amazed by like, it's such an obvious like softball thing to say, but I'm like always amazed by like Alan Moore's work from like
he's awesome. So it's such a like there. I feel like there's nothing I say that's my taste. I would say is pretty right down the middle. You know, like I don't have like a particular genre, or I just like to see stories that are told well with like some thought towards the craft that goes behind it. So
I always like autobiographies, because I think everyone else's life is more interesting.
So, you're right.
Except I got this Jackie Chan book, but I haven't cracked it yet.
I love it.
He's had a very interesting life, so
that's cool.
Spoiler alert: it's just an old guy getting punched in the head by random thugs for an hour and a half with a ladder.
The funniest autobiography I've ever read is I was obsessed with Spud Webb when I was a little kid, the basketball player who was really short and could slam dunk, and I found his autobiography when I was like 10, and this is my favorite prized possession.
That's awesome.
And then I got it signed by him at a basketball.
Oh, nice.
No way.
And it was like like the most.
I was obsessed with Muggsy Bogues as a kid.
There you go.
Another short dunker. Yeah. Very cool.
Was the Spud Webb book, was that shorter than expected?
Oh.
but the story still hit hard.
The book was called Flying High. It's called Flying High, I think. Yeah. Now I'm like, is that the like Jerry Garcia?
Didn't Spud Webb? Didn't he do like some commercials with
Budweiser?
Spud McKenzie, the dog. I thought they were in commercials together at one point.
Oh yeah, Jeremy, I read that book. That was really good. The Bowie comic by Allred.
Allred has a Bowie comic? Man,
yeah, it just came out earlier this year. It's released by Insight Editions, Insight Comics, who like they don't put out a ton of books, but it's really a nice book. It's really good.
Yeah.
I'll read Allred art on anything.
This one is very clearly a passion project of his as well. Definitely worth checking out.
You might could listen to ground control to Major Tom while reading Canopus.
There you go.
That's you know what the thing is, all of your other titles are very tied to your music, and I'd actually like to talk about your music for a minute.
Yeah, man.
Sure. Let's do it.
So you're a jazz musician.
You know, I think a lot of
okay, I don't know. That's why I don't know the question mark.
I just say sometimes.
Oh,
it's like a filler. I think a lot of jazz musicians kind of have a lot of jazz people who like are inside of that world kind of bristle and hate the term jazz. It's a stupid distinction. It's a stupid thing from the outside in, I can see how it would look petty and stupid, but like the term itself is kind of like this term that's like started as a very like racist term and like an ugly term, and then even then, like when you look at jazz and try to define it, it's like defining comics. Like it's kind of hard to define what is and isn't jazz.
It's more a medium than it is a genre.
Yeah, or like a filter that you put other music through.
Right.
So like when you hear like Miles Davis's jazz from the 70s, it's like obviously rock music that he's just putting through his filter. Or like when you listen to jazz from like the 1950s, it's like Great American Songbook tunes and being put through like this jazz filter. You know what I mean?
See, I like big band, and sometimes I'll hear people say, or I'll hear people refer to big band as jazz, and I consider it big band. I don't know if that's correct, but it's like, no, I'm not really jazz. It's because it's got its own sound. It's like that big band sound.
Yeah, I think it's like a subgenre of jazz. Chet Baker or Dave Brubeck. I'd say Chet Baker.
Yes, yeah.
But I also, the other reason is I also like have played a lot of like rock music and I write a lot of songs with lyrics that I had like a 2-year gig here in Rochester that was a weekly gig where I would play guitar and sing for, like at a bar.
Very cool.
And so I would say that, like, to be quite honest with you, like, hopefully none of my old professors are watching, but like that, I would say that music is rock music is closer to my heart than jazz music is. It's just that jazz music is like the best kind of music that is around to like kind of carve you into like a really great musician who can really understand a wide variety of music. Because like with jazz music, when you play it, when you improvise, you're like, it's like very linguistic. And so you're taking these concepts that are like theoretical for other people, but you're applying them in like real time. Like it's like having a musical conversation in real time. So anyway, I'm sure that during that last 30 seconds, we probably lost 2/3 of our
it makes sense why like sometimes I'll hit like back to big band, I'll hear songs and then I'll hear that same song by someone else, but they'll be singing
on swing on
and I'll be like, oh, there's words to this song. I thought it was just instrumental.
Right.
But it just turns out that they were playing, instead of singing, they had other instruments playing the words for lack of
Right. And that's kind of like a huge part of like the history of jazz, like having taking songs that were popular at the time and then doing like improvising over the top of it and kind of turning the song around on its head and stuff like that. And then it sort of like lost those roots and became this like very academic, kind of very studied music that's more rooted in like being like really virtuosic on your instrument, as opposed to like having any sort of foot in like popular styles of the day. And it's always this rub in jazz music between like academic and popular styles. So as someone who's like label. So I like 10 years of like college and studying jazz music, like it's always like right there in my head. At this point, it's kind of sad actually, because I have a really hard time listening to jazz music because it just kind of makes me like tense. It's not really like, it kind of puts me in it kind of puts me in like a place study where mode. Like, a little bit. So
I think that's an interesting take on it being more of a filter that you push music through. Because I read Canopus 1 through 3, and then I did my research on who you were as a guest, and after reading your book, for the most part, I'll say, and then finding out that you're a trained jazz musician, I kind of feel like that's exactly what you get out of the book, is kind of a jazz feel to it. It's not so much that your book Canopus is, or Canopus, or however you're saying it. It's first things first. Boogie told me we were reviewing Canopus, and I was like, Canopus, that sounds like a fun show.
Right.
I'm on board for that. I found out it was a comic book, and I was still very happy about it. It's not like it's trope free. There are definitely some comic book tropes in there, but the way that those ideas kind of spill through you is different than anything that I think I've seen recently, at least, and the way that those ideas are put together. So it's interesting that through the lens of music, you kind of do the exact same thing via jazz.
Yeah, it's very much the same part of my brain. I think like I am a real like process. We have a real process in like sequence or like brain. So the way I like I'm really curious about process. And sort of like from a really young age, every time I would like read a comic or watch a movie or listen to some music, like my brain was always like cued into like how it was done, what's the best order that you could do to make this happen, how do you go about getting, like, how could I go about learning this, like figuring out how to do this myself. And I've always been like a real autodidact, like self-taught kind of like mentality. I've never had really close relationships with like my teachers, where like I feel like I need them to like be able to learn a skill and stuff like that. And so like my whatever, I just get like obsessed with any particular thing. I just kind of like turn on the gas, and that part of my brain that like learns how to like accomplish something just kind of goes into high gear. I'm not wording it very well.
I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah,
but like
makes sense to me.
Can you teach my brain how to do that?
I think it's all about learning how you learn. You know, I think like I also teach a lot. Like that's the other thing, is that I teach a lot. So like when I'm sitting there like and I have a classroom of students and like for like a music class or a comics class, the real important thing for me is to recognize that not all the students learn the way I learn. And then like once you learn how you learn, then like for me it's like like don't like if it's something that you care about, like you have to like just be completely immersed in it, all like obsessed with it, so that your brain is always processing it. And then like you kind of have to, I don't know, like just play around with it. Like I said, like play is everything. You just have to be playful with it and kind of like not put a lot of pressure on yourself, and just learning how you learn is the big thing though. Like everybody has a little bit of a different process for learning new stuff. And so, yeah.
Jeremy Massey says he saw some Chris Ware in Canopus.
Yeah, that's I would say like it's more like Chris Ware via, I know exactly what he means. It's like the way when Chris Ware does, like, I forget which book of his it's in, but where when he kind of like wants to depict the way human memory works, it's like a field around an object. And so when Helen has her flashbacks, it's triggered by like an object that she encounters, and the way those panels unfold has a different set of rules than the way the regular story unfolds. And those rules are more drawn from, like, I would say, a language that Chris Ware uses in some of his work, with like a real scattered, repetitive array of panels. But I will say that I would say more of an influence on that. There's a sequence in the book Asterios Polyp that really inspired those flashback pages. Hey Ren, what's up, man?
Yeah, the flashback pages are tremendous.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Just the way they're played, they're orchestrated, and you're following through the memory. I loved it. I love that part. And I also want to, it's a little thing, but the title of the book, the O has the man in the moon on it. I love that. I don't know what it is about it. It's just it's the little things, and I really like that man in the moon looking at you when, like on the cover. It's fun to me.
He's like, buy this book.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Do not don't shoot a rocket at me, please. Yeah.
When does it officially come out?
February 19th. It got pushed back a week from when I thought it was. When previews said it was coming out, initially it was February 12th, and then it just got moved to February 19th for some reason. So
yeah, everyone, please go buy this book. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the art and your poor Helen, poor Dr. Helen Sterling. She it's like from that first page, it just she gets something thrown at her, like just that poor woman can't catch a break.
Well, but you know what, I really wanted to be careful because I didn't want this to be like kind of taking this like woman and like putting her through like every crappy thing and just have it be like, yep, this is it, this is what happens, you know.
Right.
I wanted it to be like in a story of like empowerment.
Yeah.
And like
you can see her growing from I feel like from each thing that happens you can see her grow.
That's good to hear, because I was like kind of low key stressing about like, is there enough of, I shouldn't even put it out in the world. I'm just going to leave it in. But like, but like this, and it's that thing where like, when you're telling like a story of empowerment, like you kind of need to like start somewhere that's not empowered. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise otherwise like the character has to have somewhere to go. And so out of the four of you guys, only Jason has read the whole thing. Is that true?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gone through about. It's funny because of what Drew said earlier. I was I was about halfway through the third issue, and then the it's like we don't want any spoilers, and I thought the same thing Drew thought. Well, no spoilers. I don't. Then I'm not going to spoil myself either. But I'm going to go. I'm definitely going to go back and finish it. And I've already told my comic shop to pull all the issues as well.
I'm sure they'll be able to get that first one. I'm positive they will.
I'm sure once the 19th hits, I don't think I'll have any problem. It's just
seriously, if you do have a problem, hit me up and I'll chuck one in the mail for you.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
even after reading them all, like I want to read them again, especially just when you find out the ending.
I can't wait to finish it up.
Yeah.
And back to your point. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to ask about because I don't, the artwork, have you always done, is this like, do you do just comic book art, or, I mean, are you do all kinds, because you did the art in this also.
Yeah. I suppose, I guess so. I guess I just do comic book art. I mean, I painted a lot when I was like in high school. I did like a lot of paintings and stuff, but I can't say that I was super good at it. I think
neither me either. I tried to go to art 2 in high school, and the art teacher told me to get out, and so I had to sign up for something else.
Oh no, that sounds like a terrible art teacher. Shame on that art teacher.
He was very strict.
That's not cool. My art teacher in high school was this brilliant dude who like, I went to public school in Salt Lake City, Utah, and this dude named Pat Eddington, and he was like the first day of it was first period, 7:30 a.m. freshman year, commercial art 1, and he puts on ABBA's Greatest Hits and Dancing Queen comes on, and we're all like, oh, that's cool. And he played that CD on repeat for the whole school year. The whole school year. Every day of that school year, he played ABBA's greatest hits. And so first off, to this day, whenever I hear Dancing Queen, I'm like compelled to draw and create, right? It's like a Pavlovian like response. And the other thing is, like, I took his art class for 4 years, and like I probably shared that class with maybe like 50 other students. And of those students, like one of them is a concept artist or an art director at DreamWorks.
Oh wow!
One of them has done like advertisement illustration for like CNN and like Time magazine. Another one does like these big textile installations in like Chicago museums in Chicago, based in Chicago. Like, and it's all these people who have.
So ABBA is the.
I don't even. There was some sort of crazy magic in this dude's class, and here's the funny thing: is he was a terrible teacher in terms of like we never talked about like form, line, value, dimension, perspective. We never talked about anything. It was just like the most bizarre thing. And I always try to bring some of that magic to my teaching, no matter what I'm teaching, especially if it's a group, like a classroom setting, to try to have just a little bit of that strangeness. It's that same. It speaks to that same thing that we talked about at the start of this conversation, like that weirdness. There's something special about that, like weirdness. Yeah. So
I'm all about the weirdness. For me, like with jazz, it's Sun Ra and the orchestra. They're like my favorite. I love the avant-garde with like books. I'm reading this like black magic Brazilian cult book,
Oh my God.
It's just full of sigils and weird stuff. Like for me, the weirder the better. And seeing that you're into that and in your book, man, just made me, just appreciate you more as a person, as a writer, as an artist, man. Yeah. You're just kind of like the whole package, and it's awesome to get to meet you and talk to you screen to screen.
Oh man, well, thanks so much. Hey, did you ever see that Sun Ra commission that I did?
No, I didn't, because I was going to ask if you can do one for me.
No, I did.
That's why I was asking you doing commissions still.
I'm going to try to find it.
Cool.
It's on. Shoot, where is it?
Because I didn't see it on your website, but
it's
like
okay. Here it is. Let's see. I'll repost it on my Twitter right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm following you.
Cool.
So.
Cool. Well, speaking of your Twitter and everything, do you want to hit us up and let everyone know where they can find you, or any plugs, anything you want to for people to check out and follow?
Oh, there it is. Wow, that's amazing.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that one turned out really cool. I did that for an old sax player friend of mine in Salt Lake. So
wow.
So my Twitter is what it says up there on the screen, Chisholm Dave. And my website's davechisholmmusic.com, and Instagram is the Dave Chisholm, like the Dave, the or the. I don't know how people say it.
Sure.
Have you ever had that happen where like you start to really think about the way your voice sounds, and then, you start to talk differently because
I've gotten over it
all the time.
I'm not going to dwell.
That happens when I say data or data.
That's what the chat's for.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And that's where to find me. I really spend way too much time on Twitter. And that's
and check out davechisholmmusic.com, because you can also check out he's done other books that have soundtracks with them.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
The music
you can listen to it on Spotify really as well.
Too. Yeah, it's all on Spotify. I try to keep it updated, but I'm not the best to keep my website updated. But yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Well, thanks
for hanging out.
Yes, thank you. And everybody check out Canopus on February 19th.
Yeah.
Yes, demand it.
Yeah, absolutely. And when your other project you can't talk about, we'd love to have you back, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. You guys, I'm telling you right now, I don't want to be like, I want to oversell this thing, but like this book that I'm doing right now, that I can't talk about, that I'm going to talk about right now, is like, I'm so psyched about this book. It's turning out so cool. Like the everything is looking so awesome. I know that like we're supposed to be like I'm just just really happy with the way it's turning out. It's turning out so dope. And I think like people are gonna flip out. Oh, thanks, Ren. Appreciate that, man.
Nice.
Nice.
So I'm so psyched. It's like a real dream project for sure.
That rules.
Awesome.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I hope we made Boogie proud. Because he was looking forward to chatting with you.
Sorry, Boogie. I'm sorry you're feeling under the weather, dude.
He's come down with the Corona crud. So
he's got the Wuhan
Corona crud.
But we'll let you go, and we'll have you back on for that other thing.
Right on, guys.
Yes.
Take care.
All right. Take care.
Thanks so much.
That was awesome. No, that was really cool, man.
Awesome.
Great guest.
Yeah.
I
think he's a brilliant guy, man. Just the jazz alone too was just incredible. Much less, and his art was amazing.
Just a super creative guy, just a talented person.
I appreciate that so much, man.
You could tell he's a great teacher too. So it's like when you're reading the book Canopus that you're. I don't want to make it sound weird, but you're in good hands because it's like not.
We can spoil it now. He's off.
It's like because he's not only is he a creator, a musician, does art, but I mean he's taking you through this personal story. He's going to not handhold you, but he's going to take care. He's not just throwing stuff out there.
Dude, if I was as good as an artist as he was, I'd just be doing commissions all day, every day, like printing your own money. He's just so good.
Right.
Really cool project. And everything I saw on his website really intrigued me as well.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely, guys, if you are on the fence about Canopus, do not be. It is a really, really solid title. Yeah. And it's only 4 issues, man, for a really great mind-bending story.
Yeah.
Hey, talk to your LCS, man. If they don't have that #1 on the 19th, they can get it for you. Scout Comics will make it available. He keeps saying that. So, go to your LCS. Tell them you want Canopus. You want all 4 issues. And trust us, you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking them all up and the trade eventually. Yeah.
Say, tell them. And if they give me any guff, say Drew Manchu is coming for you.
It's true. I'm coming for you.
I watched the first half of the first episode of Lock and Key, so don't spoil anything for me because I'm digging it.
You watched the first half of the first
30 minutes. Yeah. I haven't had time yet, and I know my wife wants to watch it, so I don't watch the whole thing and then watch it again with her. It's like I've been so busy, I have other things to do.
Jason's been a busy beaver all week,
dude. Man. Oh my god, you ain't kidding. Yeah, sorry, Drew. We couldn't hook up for the Drew Manchu review.
It wouldn't be the Drew Manchu Cantu review crew if we didn't have a schedule snafu. So
I want the new segment that I coined on over on Comic Core, which is the Drew Manchu poo poo review.
I've decided I'm going to take a more positive outlook and only review things that I like this year. That's
awesome.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to try not to be such a poo poo guy.
Well, I did finish Lock and Key. I binged the whole thing.
Wow.
And it was pretty good. It got me interested in the source material, but I don't know if it got me interested enough to want to start cracking the books and actually
pretty good motion comic, right? Pretty good.
I prefer the motion comic. There were some points where I was like, all right, come on. And I admit I fast forwarded through some points.
Oh man.
Just because it's like, come on, let's go. And at one point the girl, I don't know if she's the same in the books. Her name is Kenzie, the character name. But at one point I was like, is there anything redeeming about this girl?
Is this Lock or is this Key?
Yeah.
I haven't started Lock yet.
They misspelled Lock. There's not an E on the end.
It's an old-timey Lock.
It's an old Lock. You know why they took letters? Do you know why they took letters off of words like that? Capitalism, because it was cheaper to print and to telegram words with less letters.
Oh,
there's your schooling for today.
That's how they killed the ye old mom and pop shop.
And the U in flavor.
Flavor.
And man, I'm sorry, Chad. I'm sorry Boogie isn't a bigger Wu-Tang fan, because your Wu-Tang virus joke is the best thing that's going to happen on this episode this week. I'm pretty sure.
When you said he had the Wuha virus, that virus has got you all in check.
Because Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing.
Boogie's trying to get us on a rail. This was the Adam show.
Get back on the rail.
All right.
Get back on the rails.
Wow, all right.
Boss is watching.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Darth Vader #1. Who is that? Oh,
that's
Drew.
Me, by Greg Pak. I know you guys run down all the other creators. Inico did the pencils on this, and Manon. I don't know how to read the credits page, so that's me. This is Darth Vader, and this starts off the same place where the Star Wars series starts off. Darth Vader cuts off Luke's hand, tells him he's his father. Spoiler alert from
83, I think, right?
83 was Return, right?
Oh, then 81.
81. Yeah. 1980. 2 years before I was born, this got spoiled. Look, man, this is a really great story. If you like Darth Vader, you're going to enjoy this. If you like the prequels, you're going to enjoy this. If you didn't like the prequels, you'll probably still enjoy this. It's a really well-written comic. Basically, Vader now knows that that he is Luke's father. Luke is
you the hated daddy.
Right? So he starts putting 2 and 2 together, and he's like, "What? Wait, Padme. Let's figure out all we can find about this kid. And how do we do that? We go to the source." So he goes back to Tatooine. He goes back to the Lars farm, the Lars moisture farm. He has flashbacks about killing Tusken Raiders. He has flashbacks about talking about sand and how it gets everywhere. No, he actually doesn't do that, but he does talk about his appreciation for fixing things. There's also a robot in this that goes along for the ride with him. It's kind of a what's it called? Forensic spot
/ comedy relief.
Yeah.
That's one thing people forget about Darth Vader. He's one hell of a mechanic.
Yeah, it's true. He is. Yeah. He's got to change his own oil. How do you do that with one
when
hand?
You're half robot, you have to be a pretty good mechanic.
Don't ask where the dipstick is.
Yeah.
Right? We're gonna go full spoiler alert on this one because Previews has already spoiled it with their issue #2. He goes back to investigate Padme's apartment eventually after being set upon by some pirates who didn't know what they were getting into, who all get cut to ribbons. And Padme is there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Padme's alive.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I thought she died of a broken heart.
Padme had like 5 bodyguards that look just like her. Come on, that's not Padme.
Right? It's not Padme.
It's like Saddam Hussein. He's still alive too.
Right.
Tupac, Elvis.
Yeah, Tupac, Elvis. They're all running around.
I have a feeling in issue #2, he's going to get the opportunity to cut a Padme lookalike to ribbons with his lightsaber as well. So
at one point, the robot in here, the droid, is like, "Oh yeah, I see in the computer records that a Skywalker lived here." Well, they don't have Google in a galaxy far, far away. Skywalker, Anakin didn't just Google his old name. Darth Vader. Let me see if Anakin Skywalker's trending. Skywalker. That threw me off a bit, but it was good. It's Star Wars.
We're dealing with a universe where Skywalker's like Smith or Johnson. There's just so many Skywalkers.
Yeah,
that's like that's like SNL's Undercover Boss with Kylo Ren. It'd be like if Darth Vader Googled himself or something. Or...
I was gonna say that's right. That's why Rey was a Skywalker. It's just like another one.
There's hundreds of them. There's another Skywalker running
on the plume.
Yeah.
I never thought about that, Drew. You're probably right. Skywalker's just like Johnson.
Yeah.
Skywalker. This is the John Smith of the galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
I didn't read bastard in this book is named Luke.
Yeah. I'm
Keep firing, assholes.
I'm not a huge fan of Greg Pak, but I actually enjoyed this. For me, he's always hit or miss, So this one I didn't expect to like, and I liked it. The art was really cool. I had a good time. I'm going to read issue 2.
I would like to see Marvel do a little bit more like Dark Horse did and not hinge the book so much, make them dependent on the source material. I get it. These are movie tie-in comics, and that's how they're writing them. And that's fine. I would just like to see them maybe – Star Wars can be all the things, and Marvel should put out more.
Yeah, you can have like a Tusken Raider adventure.
There you go.
That's what I love about Dr. Aphra so much, because it's got that
Exactly.
connective tissue, but it also goes on its own adventure.
There's a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They can explore pretty much whatever they want to explore within the confines of the story they set up, and they're not beholden to the movies, even though they still remain canon. I think that the thing about putting out Star Wars as a title and putting out Darth Vader as a title is there's only so much you can do outside of canon if you're making all of this stuff matter at the end of the day.
Sure.
Which is what they're trying to do. So I think they're kind of hamstrung by that, but at the same time, it allows them really to flesh out more of this connective tissue that kind of makes what gears are turning the cogs. It's not necessarily about the cogs themselves, but what gears are turning them, and it's all part of the same machine. And if we get a better picture of what Star Wars is, that's what I love so much about Clone Wars and Rebels as shows, is they are in canon, so they're responsible to the canon at a certain point, but at the same time, and they have the freedom to really go out of their way to explore new concepts and new ideas. But
do we have a Star Wars multiverse yet?
Not yet.
Well, we have Conan multiverse, so it's only a matter of time before Wolverine versus Darth Vader becomes a thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
But man, just kick me in the balls as hard as you can the day that happens, because I'll read it.
Oh, we gotta wait till then,
dude. It's gonna be great. He's gonna cut up Wolverine and he'll heal back. It's gonna be awesome story.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
No,
like the Disney break glass in case of emergency.
Yes.
They're gone bankrupt, whatever. It's like boom, Marvel, Star Wars. Like, that's exactly what's happening.
They'll do that right before they buy DC Comics.
Yes.
But you're right, though. I do want to see more stuff with the Star Wars universe, with doing different stuff. Like, give me a story of like an Ewok serial killer like Dexter or something. Like something stupid. Like, I don't know, man.
That's a little specific, but okay.
Yeah.
What would it be? Mirrorverse Star Wars, where Padme become
dude, what if Padme Star Wars is a solid idea? That's what you're talking about, Adam. Like what if Star Wars sort of book? What if Padme decides to join Anakin and take over the galaxy as husband and wife? She's gonna end up murdering homeboy.
Yeah, she's gonna be the one. What's leading the universe, father and son? That sounds like a great book too,
dude.
Yeah, what if Luke missed the shot?
Right?
What if Han actually shot first?
Right?
Don't. That's a big can of worms. Don't open that up.
It can just be like the Silver Surfer Mobius issue, where it's like every page it switches who shot first or the reason for it. They go through all the timelines.
What is the Dutch word for, because Vader is Dutch, right, for father?
I thought it was German for father, or maybe.
Or is it German?
Maybe.
Let's see. Moder, Moeder, maybe is mother. So it'd be Darth Moder, Moder. But yeah, what if Padme became Darth something instead of Anakin?
Yeah,
his mother was a mutter.
That'd be a good story. if that hasn't happened yet, why hasn't it happened yet? That seems like an obvious story.
It does.
All right, I guess we should move on.
Immortal Hulk
with Gaumer.
A comic at Marvel Comics. A comic is good at Marvel Comics when it gets spin-off comics. Great Power #1. Tom Taylor. Love that guy. Jorge Molina. Love that guy. What? Adrian Di Benedetto and Roberto Poggi helped out with some inking on. Oh, there you go. This is a Moder.
So that's for William Pace.
Motorhead.
Motorhead.
David Curiel did the colors, and VC's Corey Pettit.
Pettit.
Corey. Oh, Corey.
Corey with the letters.
In an attempt to be a hero, Loki removes the Hulk from Banner, but it sort of backfires like magic tends to do. I love that cover, man. That's a great pinup.
Is that a variant?
No, I think that's the
this is the A cover. You got the variant.
Yeah, somebody just held up the variant.
Oh, that's the variant.
Yeah.
I like the variant too. But
me too. It
doesn't
have anything to do
right here on the cover.
It does. It really does. But this backfires, and the Hulk winds up in Spider-Man, and the duo, along with the Fantastic Four, use science to fix it. And that's basically it. There's some cool character moments here. Amazing art. Jorge Molina kills it on the art. But really, this was just a fun little damn good comic book. It was stupid and silly and has no connection to anything else that will ever take place in the Marvel universe, that's okay.
It was so fun, man.
It was fun. Yeah, it was just fun.
It was all right. I like the last, I guess it's the last line. Well, not the exact last line, but he says this dang it, get on stream.
He's just going midnight swim, a little midnight swim.
Yeah, but he says you're a good man. I'll try to remember that next time. I like how he says, I'll try to remember that next time we meet.
Well, that's just covering the next writer in case they want Hulk to beat the crap out of Spider-Man. They will be like, well, hey, wait a minute.
Well, it's
didn't we gain a respect for each other? In that one shot?
Even he doesn't trust himself. He's like, I might not remember and beat the crap out of you. I don't know. I'll try to. Right.
Yeah, I like that they're branching off doing a bunch of these books. I guess the next one is the Jeff Lemire book, which I'm really stoked for. Do we know how many more that's going to happen? Or
as long as they're selling and they're this quality, I think they could do them forever. It's wonderful. I really had a great time reading it.
It's such a good idea, too, giving other writers a chance to write the Hulk. You know what I mean? I mean, you guys doing a fantastic job, but it's like I would love to see it with more characters. Like for DC, like, what is it? Lobdell's had a stranglehold on Red Hood forever. It's like so many people can do stuff with Red Hood. Just give other people a book and issues this, you know?
I think the difference there is Al Ewing has spun gold with the Hulk in a way that I don't think Marvel was really expecting. And now that it's just kept on going where people cannot stop raving about how good Immortal Hulk is, and it's worth it. You know, it's a great book. Marvel's like, well, yeah, let's just throw more resources at this great thing that Al Ewing's created and ride that wave until it breaks.
I think the timing's perfect on these one shots because I feel like the main series of Immortal Hulk is kind of starting to fall off.
It is.
But the wonderful thing about Immortal Hulk is the way that it's delved back into Banner's psyche. And this book does the exact same thing. By giving you an entry character in Spider-Man into Banner's psyche. He finally knows what it's like to have his rage break him. The whole time Spider-Man's the Hulk, he's screaming, Osborn!
Yeah.
While he's smashing things. Which, that's the guy who's probably been in his head the most outside of Doc Ock, but we're going to go ahead and discount all that.
He murdered. The whole murder thing,
right.
And all that. That's
the
scar.
It really comes down to this creates a respect between Peter and Banner and also between Peter and the Hulk. They both
that whole science moment that Banner had.
He's like oh wait, I understand, Reed, you're a scientist, I'm a scientist. What's old Spidey Pajamas doing here?
Yeah.
And he's like, hold on, Betty.
Yeah. And then he busts out the Goodwill Hunting.
Surprised at how much he has to add to this.
Yeah.
And Peter keeping up with them on the chalkboard was a big point.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah, I liked the part where it's really goofy. It's like, did you lose your pants this time? Spider-Man's like, no. Banner's like, yes. It's like, wait, what do you mean, yes? I meant no. It's like, did you find me pantsless? And he just gives him some mean stare.
Yeah.
It's so good. What was the other ongoing joke that they had on here? It said the joke 3 times, but I whatever that was, I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, the 4. There were 5 people wearing Fantastic Four shirts.
People think you can't count.
Yeah, Loki says that, and it's
the kids saying
that's classic Tom Taylor.
You guys look like you can't count, right?
Yeah, that's like a classic Tom Taylor dad joke that he somehow makes cool in these comics. I'm not sure how.
Yeah, he's like, but it kind of looks like you all can't count. There they are at the bottom. And then I was like, that's pretty funny. I mean, that's pretty funny. Give me a little chuckle. And then the next page is Loki's like, look at you can't count. And then I actually it's like, ah!
And then Valeria, I think, comes in and has the final jab on there. Yeah, the final punchline.
Oh, it's great. So good.
Yeah, it's a good book. Fun little book. Throw away. It makes they're never going to bring this up ever again. It doesn't matter. It was an entertaining read.
All right.
Can we move on to a book that was less entertaining?
Has a Hulk or Spider-Man run in the next couple of months, then he might throw something in there.
How about they have a Hulk Spider-Man in a Spider-Verse book coming up?
True.
That'd be fun.
That'd be good. Because dude, I don't know if it was just the way Molina drew it, but that character's gold, man. A Hulk spinning around, flying, doing web stuff. Yeah, that's gold, man.
Why can't we get
wrecking ball?
Yeah, right.
Why can't we get Spider Hulk Cam? Maybe
there you go.
And he could be like, maybe just call him spam or something.
Oh, that's great.
It's like
There
just
you go.
like
Tom Taylor.
just compound it.
Put him on the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, sure.
So I get see what we got next is After the Realm with Jason.
Boy.
That's not the name of
I
it.
think it's called The After Realm, right?
I think it's just After Realm. Quarterly.
I think it's The After Realm quarterly.
Quarterly. You have to get your monocle polish out. Get your monocle polish out.
Right.
That's
written and drawn.
That's 1 quarter less than the amount of Lock and Key you watched, Jason.
Yeah.
And come on, Doomsday Clock was quarterly and everyone loved it.
Oh boy.
Did they?
Yeah.
All right. The After Realm, written and drawn by Michael Avon Oeming, I believe is his last name. Colors by Taki Soma. Letters by Sean Lee. I'm not a big fantasy guy, so I don't know why Boogie gave me this book. I think he wanted me to bitch about it, but I will give credit, for someone writing and drawing their own stuff. That's always amazing. We saw earlier today in the interview of how that can be well executed. And this is, this story doesn't interest me at all. It's just Valhalla is occurring. Then the elves going into hiding. And this main character, this girl, gets separated from her best friend. I guess it's this boy she likes, or I guess they could be boyfriend and girlfriend. They don't really say or dive into it too much, as much as they're just best friends. They get separated, and now she's stuck in this elvish land, imprisoned. And I guess Loki was in charge of this attack, and so they have Loki and his army kind of in a prison. They're trapped in the same place, and she just kind of gets into I guess she ends up freeing him or whatever at the end. Like, I don't know. It didn't need to be this long. It could have told the story.
Yeah, it could have been this long if they'd have gotten into the substance that was teased in like the teaser on the last page for the next book, where they bring in D&D. They even alluded to like giving you the one character gave the other one like dice looking map
and a map
brick
too. Yeah.
And then the cliffhanger, the end, like when they're sort of saying that our realm, Midgard, is part of these realms and they're bringing part of that in. That's compelling. The art is compelling. But yeah, this was just, it dragged and it was all over the place.
It really did.
I did not have a good time with this.
But yeah, it's not for me. But I mean, someone else could totally enjoy this, and that's fine.
Yeah. Oeming had a Dick Tracy book over in IDW last year, and it was great. It was great. His power.
I wanted to check it out.
Amazing. We always talk smack on Bendis. Bendis still kills it on powers. It's great. But I didn't like.
Yeah, I think I don't know if what I'm going to say is going to make sense, but I think I was expecting something a bit more, not realistic, but maybe less cartoony.
More action too. There wasn't a lot of action either.
Or maybe pulpy. Maybe pulpy would be, or maybe I think when I read the solicit, I was thinking more along the lines of like Elder Scrolls or something like that.
Sure.
You know what's going to happen, and you're just like waiting for it to happen, and it takes forever to happen. Like, Loki's in prison, she's going to end up free, and I'm like, can we just get to that part already? And it took like, this thing is like what, 70 pages or something that, dude?
It took an entire quarter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
3 months to get there.
3 months.
Not for me, but it is very commendable to create your own world and have lofty, high goals like that. That's really cool, and that's great. This guy drew and writ everything himself.
Oh yeah, I mean, anytime one person does all their own work, like Canopus, like this, like Kill,
that was amazing.
Like Kill Lock, yeah. You got to give them props regardless.
Right, absolutely. So yeah, this is just not for me, but I can't say I recommend it, but I guarantee there's definitely people that will enjoy this. So
if you're going to read a quarterly adventure comic, just read Headlopper.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're a Headlopper. All right. That was random.
It was.
So I guess now we need to get into some random reviews presented by Spin Whiz Comics. Check out our latest sponsor at spinwizcomics.com. They are a distribution platform for indie content. Their goal is to allow readers to discover great content and for publishers to gain awareness and grow a bigger fan base. They are currently in the process of creating an app and also setting up a print-on-demand service. So check them out on Twitter or online at spinwizcomics.com. I like the print-on-demand idea. I like that.
Boogie quick with those cues too.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Hey, killing it.
He should just produce every week.
Don't let him off the hook.
I'll get a mic screen.
Oh, come on.
Man. He kicked Gomer off.
Wow.
You can't, dude. You can't kick Gomer out like random reviews is made up mostly of.
I do want to say what's up to Gideon Falls. This is possibly my favorite issue so far. This is just incredible artwork. It's mind bending. All the little chit cockroach, creatures, man. It's just, this comic gets better and better. I love it.
It's so good.
I want to say, I thought Justice League with Venditti writing it was pretty decent. You have the Green Lantern kind of taking control of Martian Manhunter's role, and even though Martian Manhunter is on the cover with Hawkgirl, they weren't in the comic. So I don't know where they went or what's up with that.
I got a problem with that Justice League book. I tried to read it. I was like, I shouldn't just drop it. After the last run and that epic ending, and knowing that this happens before any of that run happens, and knowing that Generation Zero with Wally West with Manhattan's powers and the Mobius chair or whatever is all going to stem out of that. This just feels like it
not important.
It doesn't feel important, and it feels like it's just useless. And that's not Vendetti's fault. You know, it was well written.
It's the cards he's dealt with. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just can't bring myself to enjoy it anymore.
Wow, that's a shame. Like, I enjoyed this, because I know it doesn't matter, but it's like, I still enjoyed it, and I'm going to continue reading it. And I like seeing, the Justice League, all those heroes interact with each other. It's a good team. And it's cool seeing,
Who
John
showed
Stewart,
up? K or whatever dude's name is, that one Lantern from, it was way back that run.
Sodom Yacht, right?
Yeah, Yacht. Oh man,
yeah, that was cool.
And Eradicator. I mean, there were cool moments.
Yeah, but, I like Eradicator too, man. It's cool. I like it. I'm digging it. I'm gonna keep reading it, man. Yeah. Did you read it, too? No?
No. I swore off Justice League.
We got to talk about Batman and the mobile Batmobile. Not the Batmobile, the mobile Batmobile. The Batmobile's an app now.
The faking Batmobile.
What is going on? Batman
has no protection.
Batman's a car thief.
He is. It's just a hologram cover on it.
That's just weird, dude.
I don't know.
I thought that was dumb.
I thought it was unnecessary. Yeah, I'm not digging all these new inventions. The prior issue had him going through the little sled thing.
The toboggan, the back toboggan.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 solid issues of Batman. We're back in the toilet. That's what I feel about it.
I still enjoyed this issue. I like this issue more than the last.
Well, there's some villainous intrigue being built where there's this plan that Bruce hasn't been notified about. He's not in on it, which is kind of weird. This new villain, you teased it in the message. You got this new Joker
Harley
sidekick
replacement.
coming.
Yeah, new Harley replacement. Yeah, it's the new girlfriend Punchline. Yeah, she looks great. That art.
The
art germ was incredible.
The art looks okay.
Doesn't she just look like the most derivative thing that they could have possibly came up with?
I don't know, man. She has
like brunette Harley Quinn with a little more class. Like, it's really upgraded. He's like, I got a brunette who lives in a studio apartment instead of a trailer park.
Right.
I like the little makeup on her nose and her cheeks. It's very like marionette and mime kind of feel. Yeah.
Daredevil this week.
Daredevil was
I didn't get to read Daredevil. No, man.
Hammerhead got shot in the head, which I didn't think was possible.
Wow. All right.
I thought
it was too thick, right? I thought his skull was too thick. He smashes things with his head all the time, right?
He's like Uncle Eddie. I need a new part. But I don't know. I don't know.
That's weird. All right. Well, I'm still looking forward to reading it.
Yeah.
I like Starsky a lot. So
Power Rangers Ninja Turtles.
So cool.
Number 3. Oh yeah, it's so great. I mean, Shredder's got the powers of the Green Ranger.
Oh wow, cool.
That Morpher. Their Zordon's like, we found Tommy. Come get him. And meanwhile, before the Power Rangers can get there and get their asses handed to them by Shredder and the Foot Clan, and the combined powers with Rita Repulsa. Rita has a little power struggle with Shredder, where they decide, all right, we'll finally settle this after we get rid of those pesky amphibians and rangers.
Those damn teenagers.
Right. And this is, you know what, this book is the perfect setup for what everybody knew was coming all along. If you've been looking at those variant covers, eventually these turtles are picking up these coins and they're going to get Power Ranger helmets. And this sets us on a course for that. The art has continued to be a high point, with really great quirky dialogue between all of these characters. Nobody's underserved. Nobody gets shoved down your throat. With so many pieces in place, it's amazing to me that this has continued to be as well balanced as it is. And
I really enjoyed that first issue we reviewed.
Yeah,
man. I got to catch up. That's
dude.
awesome.
If you like either of these properties and the way that they're being portrayed by IDW and Boom, respectively, then pick this book up. What are you doing not reading this?
Was it? You think we're going to get a Teenage Mutant Ranger Turtles series?
It's going to happen by the maybe not a series, but it's going to happen by the end.
That's going to be the back end of this book. That's going to be issues 4 and 5 before we get to the wrap up.
And then of course they're going to pump out action figures.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Look, we're gonna get Trini with a pair of size trying to do her best Raphael.
I want to see Zed brought back, man. I really liked Zed as a kid. I thought he was like a really cool design. I thought like this massive
perfect move for a sequel is this series ends with Lord Zed talking to Krang.
Yep. Good call. Yeah, dude. Awesome. I'm in.
Thanks, Boom and IDW, for paying me for all these great ideas I've got.
Right.
Dude, how perfect. I mean, that would be it. Krang with his robot with that body. And then they do the gimmick. And so it makes it giant size and they have to call in the Megazord to fight off Krang and his giant body. There you go.
That's dope.
Man, why are we not selling this stuff to them? It's like we got ideas. What else?
Savage Avengers #0. Didn't get to read it yet, but I like Greg Smallwood's art, and I think this is the last stuff he's doing too for Marvel. See, and I got some older back issues. I also had to pick up this dollar reissues of first Black Mask and Zaz, and then of course I got the exclusive of
you got the movie yet?
I did not see it yet. No,
I saw it today. And staying positive, it was a movie.
All right, there you go. That's what I keep hearing.
I hear the John Wick director guy's scenes is what salvages it or saves it or is what's most entertaining.
There are a lot of very, very entertaining things about that movie. You can tell that there are the bones of a fantastic comic book movie there.
Wow.
Whoever got final edit owes me an apology.
Wow.
It's like from what I haven't seen it, but from what I hear, it's like the movie, but you go for the action scene, like the fight scenes is what you go see.
It's, you know what? It's the opposite of every other bad comic book movie. The third act is really great.
Oh, that's good.
It just takes forever to get there.
Sure.
Did anyone check out DC Crimes of Passion?
No, it's too much.
Yeah, too much and way too thick. Like, I don't know.
Too little.
Yeah, way too thick. Jason couldn't take it.
I got a meme to show you for that.
Money Shot #4, Tim Seeley, Sarah Beatty, Rebecca Isaacs. Still remains one of my favorite books on the shelf. Sex positive. Star Trek meets Star Trek porn parody is the best way to explain it. So great. Isola #10, Crone #4, Predator Hunters 3 #1. All great. I read a bunch more, but those were my highlights.
Adam, did you read that Man Who Effed Up Time?
I did not read that yet either.
Yeah, it's pretty. I need to go back through it because I kind of, in everything we were doing today, I kind of just like went through it really fast. But man, it's got some crazy stuff. Like you open on the most messed up things. Like you could tell this guy really effed up time. Just
truth in advertising.
Just crazy time travel stuff going on. So it looks like it's going to be a fun series, and that's what I'm all about. Because just like Jason Comics Misexplained, I keep it 100.
Had to 100.
100.
I'm a big fan of that time travel. I'm a big fan of that time travel stuff too. So
yeah, this is.
I need to get on that book.
It seems just Just a lot of, I mean, and that's when you're dealing with the butterfly effect, change something in the past. You could do anything in the future. Sure. You know, this happens. I mean, just the world is your oyster in storytelling when it comes to that. So it can only be fun. If you can't make that fun, then I don't know.
I'm allergic to shellfish.
Me too.
What's a shellfish?
That's moving on.
Fishes don't have shells. What are you talking about? Yeah.
No, but shellfish do.
What are you, living in a Mario game? All right. So I guess now it is time for our outright geekery. We should do something different since Boogie's not here.
Book of the week. Book of the week.
Book of the week.
OutrightGeekery.com. Booyah. There you go.
Outright Geekery. I heard it's your one-stop shop for news, reviews, previews.
It's been said.
Previews, podcasts, some terrific, excellent podcasts there, like Geek Saps, Comic Book Bullies. What else they got?
This
Gaumer?
One.
Even this one, the one you're listening to right now. Yeah. Everything geek at your fingertips. But just don't leave fingerprints. That's how they get you. OutrightGeekery.com. And it's me, our book of the week, Fantastic Four. Let me get it up here. X-Men #1.
Ooh, with the Scotty Young cover.
No, I don't think that's Scotty Young.
Oh, that's a Chris Eliopoulos cover.
Yes, it is.
Oh, man. My favorite letterer of all time, Chris Eliopoulos. He's got a show that he's doing with the dude who wrote Identity Crisis, the novelist. What's that dude's name? Meltzer? Brad Meltzer? They got a kids show on PBS. It's so good. So good. Just saying. Yep. Drew's cover looks great, too, though. Oh my
God.
I
do like that cover, that one, the Drew one. I'm not a big fan of
I didn't pirate it. I don't carry my books in my pocket.
The Valentine's Day cover can.
Was there a Valentine's Day cover?
I think that's what Jason had.
No, that's the flower cover.
Yeah, I just assumed it was a Valentine's Day cover or something.
They did those for Hawks and Pox too.
I didn't know. I mean, it was the only variant my store had. I wanted to pick up any variant that was possible, and
this cover
it's like Peanuts, right? It's like ugh.
This sums up my thoughts, my feelings on this book exactly. This cover sums it up perfectly, in my opinion. This is Xavier and Magneto want to bring the Omega level mutant, I think is what he is, Franklin Richards, to Krakoa. Of course, they have their ulterior motives or whatever. But Reed, Richard, and Visible Woman, I'm blanking on her name. Susan Storm. Sue. Is it Sue? Does she still go by Storm, or is it Richards? Sue Richards.
Storm Richards.
Sue Richards.
Susan I think she hyphenates it.
Oh, I can't stand hyphenate.
Yeah,
metropolitan woman.
She's that kind of Karen. She's got a hyphenate her name. Is she a Karen in this book?
Sue Richards, the invisible Karen, disagree and want to keep Franklin with them, and Kate Pride is stuck in the middle with her friendship to Franklin. And Franklin's all teenage angsty, no, Dad.
I loved it. I love
that. And the most interesting thing in this book, I thought, is that Reed reveals that he implanted Franklin with a device to mask his mutant gene, which completely screws him to get into Krakoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
that was my favorite part.
Then then towards the end, we, of course, it doesn't matter if you're hanging with the X-Men, Doom is going to show up regardless.
Yeah.
Just because you're not hanging with with the Fantastic Four, doesn't mean you're out of Doom's scope.
So I think my favorite part of the book is the little lunch.
Oh, shoot. I completely screwed this up. So this is written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Terry Dodson, Rachel Dodson, Dexter Vines, and Carl Story.
Shout out to Dexter Vines, diagnosed with a rare form of blood cancer. There's an Indiegogo. I think there's a crowdfunding to help him out, man. He did. He worked on Civil War and I think he did a bunch of stuff with Dwayne McDuffie, over there when he had his thing going on. So yeah, I hope he gets better. Hope he gets better, dude.
Yep. Check that out. And we got Laura Martin on colors and letters by VC's Joe Caramagna.
Joey C.
This book, I just think I'm not really following X-Men. I really don't care. I really don't care about Fantastic Four. I could follow this. I mean, it was fine comic. Yeah. I just don't think it's for me to use that played out.
It is played out.
But I think it's true. It's just it's just not my gimmick, man.
Not my bag.
I love this. Not my bag.
This is totally my bag. I loved everything about it.
Me too.
It was super compelling for me. I just so many little jabs and little things in there. I don't know. I love it so much. For me, the really poignant part was the thing and Franklin having this lunch, and he's like, he can. Our dad, my dad can fix anything, like all the universe problems except for me and you. You know what I mean? It's like, do you think
whatever
he really...
Franklin says that he builds universes. He can't turn his uncle back into a human for a little while. Come on, Franklin. You're a reality warping Omega level mutant. Give me a break. If anything, your old man should be helping you control your power so you can do what I just said. Wow. And the X-Men will help you do that.
In defense of Franklin doing nothing about his uncle being a rock monster, he's always known his uncle as a rock monster.
Of course. I think his family is limiting him the same way that all families limit their children. They don't want them to grow up too fast. They want them to know their boundaries. They want them to know their limits. And the X-Men, when they train people, they want you to push your boundaries. They want you to understand your limits. So you have to reach your limits. And I think that is a healthier environment for a being who could destroy the entire universe. Okay. I think it's not just irresponsible in the context of raising a parent, what the Richards family is doing to their son. I think it's irresponsible as a hero to not allow a man who, in Charles Xavier, who has a proven track record of taking dangerous people and making them so that they are in control and not dangerous.
He also has a proven track record of taking normal children and turning them into weapons as well. So I kind of see their perspective on that.
Well, are you suggesting that Reed Richards isn't in a moral gray area as well with the chips?
Oh, no. And okay. I think the gray area is where both of these teams lie. I love the fact that this is they call back to the original 4-part X-Men versus Fantastic Four series. There's continuity there. They pay off the relationship between Kitty and Franklin. They also have really fantastic stuff with character stuff between both groups amongst themselves. Yeah. And then you get that classic two teams show up and they automatically start fighting right away. Yeah. And I called her the Karen of the book, but like the immediate turn to violence comes from the Invisible Woman.
That's right. Well, that's Mama Bear. That's Mama Bear. Yeah.
That's my baby.
Yeah. She went total Karen.
Yeah, she went straight to the manager.
Hey,
yeah.
Dude, what's up with this Magneto with the M costume?
That's a little off. I think
isn't that weird?
House clothes.
Oh, that's
he's like wearing his robes around the house.
He comes back in the white uniform
wear that on Asteroid M?
That's more of a 90s sort of.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's the one problem I had issues with. I did have a couple of like detractors because I really loved this book.
Me too.
I loved the Ben Grimm stuff. Zdarsky knows how to write Ben Grimm. He did a great job in the Marvel 2-in-1. I really hoped that he was getting the Fantastic Four series when Slott got it. Not to say they haven't been enjoying Slott's Fantastic Four. It's totally a throwback. And if you read the original stuff, you'll really, really enjoy it. But Zdarsky knows these characters really well, and I think he nails all the characterizations. But there are inconsistencies in the costume, and I'm curious of what time frame this takes place in. Kitty's still wearing her X-Men garb. Everybody's still calling her Kate, with the exception of Xavier, who calls her, or everybody's calling her Kitty, with the exception of Xavier, who calls her Catherine. But it's Kitty, Kitty, Kitty. She never once looks at anybody cross and says, "Call me Kate," she does in Marauders. They don't
but
have
she is
the red cape. Her red cape. She's
right.
not wearing.
They don't have their new ship like they do in Marauders. It's the first boat they were using. So I'm kind of curious as to when they place this issue. Just based on the art and the costuming and some of the choices, but for the most part, like the Dodsons do a great job on the art.
Looks great,
beautiful,
so good.
You get that classic hero versus hero misunderstanding fight. Ben's great in his judgment of Reed, as always. He just kind of like throws shade at him for being
Magneto
a really
in here.
Father.
Yeah, right. Magneto in here when Sue was like, "You guys think you're better," and Magneto was like, "We are better." Oh man, I love it. I love mutants with the new attitude and the status quo, and this fits perfectly into that in terms of that voice. I knew Zdarsky was going to capture the Fantastic Four's voice in this, but with the new status quo, was he going to get the attitude of the New Mutants? And he does. He hit it perfectly. And Kate being, Kitty Pryde being the voice of reason, that's working with Franklin to have him make his own decision, knowing damn well that she is totally working him, even if she doesn't realize it, but the exact way that Xavier knew that she would be able to work over Franklin. It's just perfect. I love
that Franklin's
villain by proxy.
I love that they make Franklin a big deal. It's obvious that Hickman has him as a big deal in the scheme of things.
Oh, he did in Secret Wars too.
Right. And he did in the Avengers lead up to Secret Wars as well. And I think a lot of that will lead to where he's going with this whole story. I don't think this is going to be the end all be all of Franklin Richards in the House and Powers of X universe. I think that this is kind of just the first toe in the water. And I really love that when he gets back to Krakoa, Cyclops is like, "So boss, how'd it go?" And he's like, "Went just fine. We don't have to go after him anymore. He's going to come to us."
How do you think this is going to end? Do you think that they'll that Franklin will grow and end up you know what I actually see happening? And I'm probably way off, but I see, since this fight is going on over Franklin, I see Franklin getting killed off. That's what I see.
No, you're really way off. By the end of this series, there will be a group hug from the Fantastic Four and a nod from father and mother and a pat on the head as Franklin goes off to Krakoa to do his X-Men destiny. This whole butting heads between the Fantastic Four and the X-Men right now, that's some misunderstanding stuff. I think that in the end, they're all going to see that what is best for Franklin is best for everyone. And that will be the crux of the story when it's all said and done. But
do we want to talk about Reed's stretchy bits?
I think
oh honey, it's not about just being human. Even without your stretchy bits, you're still incredibly smart. I was like, all right.
Hashtag stretchy bits.
That's shit, man.
Girl, you just love me for my stretchy bits.
Dude,
exactly.
What about this new theory?
Don't get your stretchy bits got in the zipper.
What about this new superhero theory that's sort of alluded to in here, that individual heroes get their powers from pockets?
Yeah, the God power.
Multiple dimensions or something like that. And that it's possible that Franklin's connection to this universe where he gets his powers is cut off. It seemed like they sort of glossed over that, but why have it in there? Why have a chart if it's not going to be a pivotal point in this story going forward?
Because Hickman said, "Listen, Chip, you can do your silly little Fantastic Four book. Can you put an infographic in that thing?"
Yeah, because that's my thing right now. I'm doing.
Let's be on brand.
Yeah. Tom Muller needs a gig, so I'm giving him a gig.
Right. I think this is something they kind of explored already in the X-Men universe, that not so far, but like after M Day, Beast was always like, where'd these powers go? Where did they come from? And they all came back and started to manifest again. So it's not a foreign concept to the X-Men titles, that there's kind of like a god power type deal going on behind the scenes. But I think that's something that Reed he's grasping at straws.
Yeah.
I think Reed is trying to examine what's happening here. And I think that they'll do the same thing from the Krakoan angle eventually.
Yeah.
Thresh says Thresh.
That's Eli.
Yeah. Oh, I know. You want to call it Eli or Thresh Straws?
It's Eli.
Eli, known as Thrash Jaws in the chat. He says midichlorians. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just thinking Franklin is way too OP. Like, he's a character that if you put him in a story, it's like, well, why didn't Franklin just do this? Why didn't he just do this? Why didn't he just? That's why I'm saying kill him off. They
did manufacture an issue that he's having, where
and they've continually done that. Like
exactly, he had Leech.
He was super powerful, but he was a child. So like you can't allow the mind of a child to run wild with all this power. So they had to kind of put checks and balances in there. And now that he's been grown through the Secret Wars process, they're making his power broken. So they're taking the opportunity to throw hurdles in his way in a believable way. And I think that, you know, as far as you can with a reality warping child who, you know, turned 13 and dyed his hair black because he didn't want to be part of the family anymore. Like that's like you have all that angst and all that teenage nonsense. So you know, it is.
Yeah, I didn't like either the way his powers. I think, you know, even though you have an OP character, you know, I think Superman was proof you can still make him compelling. You know, you just need to have a good writer behind your character.
I think this character's proven that in the future he is compelling. Like we said earlier, through Hickman's previous writing with that Avengers build up to Secret Wars, and then during that itself, he can be godlike and still have
Well,
I think really interesting how Reed you know, mentions like, why are you coming to me now? You know, it makes you feel like you're on a timeline, because he would have went to you eventually on his own. So,
and you're right. Eli in the chat is right. Adam, even if they kill him off, he's a mutant. He gets to come back. You don't murder. Mutants don't die anymore.
That's right.
Yeah. Very cool. Thank
Maybe
you,
the kids will get killed off on this boat, and that's their way of getting rid of Valeria.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll
figure out a way to kill them. Okay.
I thumbed through Ant-Man #1. I'm not a fan.
I'm giving this comic a $3.99.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Perfect score.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a $2.99. I guess I'll go $3.99.
Oh, you don't have the pressure.
No, it's not pressure. I mean,
you'll score $3.99.
The comic, you know, it just wasn't for me, but it did everything. I mean, it was anyone could pick this up. It did its job very well. So art was great. Really nothing you can knock it on. So
well, the character stuff, the costuming issues that Drew brought up are definitely problematic. In an initiative like this, they knew this was going to be a big seller because they alluded to it in Hox and Pox. If you're not going to get everything right, that's a problem, but easily overlooked, I think, because of everything else.
I think they do a great job taking a very convoluted X-Men universe right now and really boiling it down to where anybody who knows a little bit about X-Men from anywhere can pick this up and enjoy it as a crossover book. If you're just reading the Fantastic Four, you'll have no problem with this at all. If you're just a long-term Fantastic Four or a long-term X-Men fan, you'll have no problem with this at all. It's a really great #1 issue. I think it does everything right.
Me too.
There it is. Absolutely. Well, Boogie is he's the villain. He's telling us to wrap it up.
Comic Core's on. Congrats on Comic Core for hitting 1K subs, right?
Yeah.
Congrats.
Man. Hey, hold on. There we go. So thank you to everyone in the chat for hanging out with us. As you can see on the sub thing there, that you can join Boogie. Hopefully he'll have his voice back and be de-sickified by this Tuesday at 9 p.m. where he'll be talking with Peter Samedi of Alterna Comics.
Nice.
So check that out. I'm sure all the links are in. I'm completely blanking on how Boogie closes this out because usually I've tuned him out by this point.
Get your comic book on.